What makes a website directory stand the test of time? Well, we're going to figure that out because I found 3 extremely ugly website directories, and these aren't just ugly websites. These are ugly and old. So I kind of wonder why after 15, 20, 30 years do tens of thousands of people still go to these types of website directories? And how can we actually extract a little bit of wisdom and then implement it when we build our own directories so that maybe ours will last 10, 20 years into the future? And for me, this is a source of inspiration because I always try to think about the long-term use of the website directories I build. So I'm always wondering, how can I make mine last a very long time? And what are these directory owners doing that have allowed them to survive until now? Maybe it'll give you some ideas as you are venturing out and building out different directories, because some of the categories that these are in can be innovated in, right? So as per usual with these types of videos, we're going to break down the organic traffic. We're going to look at the keywords, the top traffic pages. We'll take a look at the actual directory website itself and understand what the opportunities of improvement are and how I would probably want to monetize it if I were the owner of these directories. Just a quick shout, if you want to join the free Ship Your Directory community, it's a great way to get feedback, share ideas, and just talk all things directory related so that you can go out and build your own profitable directory websites. The link will be in the description. All right, so let's just dive right in because I'm excited to show you what I found. The first ugly website is going to be coloradodirectory.com. Great domain name, by the way. But as you can see, it is got this old school design and it has a ton of different categories that it's playing in. And a lot of these categories are massive categories. This is not what I'd recommend if you were building a directory today. I think today is all about hyper curation, and so even just, RV parks as a category, there are dozens of different successful RV park directories out there that I found personally, and the same with a lot of these categories actually. But despite being in so many categories, this website directory is still getting 18,000 monthly visitors. Before we dive into the numbers, the keywords, the most traffic pages, I kind of want to take a look at the directory itself first. Obviously, based on the name, this is everything to do with Colorado and vacationing in Colorado. So even though it is in a lot of categories, I suppose it is still somewhat niche because it's targeting a specific location. All right, so this is their homepage, and we can see here, Colorado, a winter wonderland of fun. And this heading is going to be their H1, just a lot of text and internal links. I mean, I'm assuming these are internal links. Yes, they are. But if we just go over to one of the categories, let's just go with cabins and glamping. There's so much going on, I'm having a hard time understanding where my eyes should go. But basically, it goes right into the directory listings after we click on a category. So here we can see, Alamoso, Colorado. And this is just their H3, and we can just use this pull down menu to look at all the different types of glamping options there are in different cities in Colorado. Kind of curious if we click on Broomfield. Okay, so that just jumps to the portion of the page. And you know what I just noticed? This is a pillar page, and this is a long list of all the listings with the description and some links. It doesn't include that much information, but the sheer amount of content from so many listings and these listing descriptions is probably doing them a favor. When I click on like a specific cabin or glamp site, it does go to its own individual listing page. We have the location page as the pillar page, but they have their own kind of more detailed page here. Decent amount of enrichment here. I mean, I think this is all good information, but again, it's just really hard to read. I don't even think my attention span could take looking through this in depth, but okay, that's fine. Overall, pretty simple, and I want to take a look at some of their analytics. So we do have a majority of US traffic here, 97%. And this is the 10-year chart for the last 10 years of this website directory. 10 years ago, they were getting 22,000 monthly visitors, and they're not too far off today. They did hit some peaks where they hit 40,000 monthly visitors, but for the most part, it is pretty level. These could be caused by seasonality spikes. It's really hard to tell because of how many categories they're in. For this website to be more resilient than thousands of other websites that were penalized by the Google Core update, it's saying something about this. It looks like they are still adding pages because the crawled pages are still going up. Let's take a look at some of the keywords that they're ranking for. So they're ranking for 26,000 keywords. Colorado airports, they're ranked number 1 for that, and it's bringing in 891 monthly visitors. Hold Down Hill, which I guess is a ski resort, 19,000. Okay, wow. So very interesting here. Actually, a lot of these keywords, when we notice the traffic column, it is bringing in a decent amount of traffic. It does kind of drop off pretty quickly, but they are ranked number 1 for a lot of these very broad keywords. Southwest Colorado, ranked number 1. Colorado National Parks, rank 9, which is on the first page. Full-time campgrounds, RV parks. What I'm noticing off the bat is that they are ranking on the first page for a staggering amount of these keywords. And maybe there is something to be said about being in multiple categories, but in a single state in this case. And maybe that is the niche. I don't know. I've never really started a directory just for a single state and went very broad with my categories. For every one of these types of statewide directories, I do find other ones that aren't doing so hot, and I always assumed that they were in so many categories that they wouldn't be able to kind of narrowly hone in on one single topic. So they've set themselves up where it's working out for them. Curious to see what their top pages are. So they have 1,000 pages, which is actually not a massive website. A lot of these old websites, or a lot of directory websites in general, have thousands upon thousands of pages. So this is a pretty small website in general. So here we can see the top traffic pages are relevant to maps for airports. And so Colorado commercial airports, that's pretty useful, I guess. You can click on one here and then just read on. Dude, this is so much text. Like, how are people just, how are 1,700 people landing on this page and being like, oh, yep, oh, this one's non-towered. Okay, it has 2 runways. Hell yeah. And their next most traffic page has to do with hot springs. And this is a Colorado hot springs and mineral baths. Again, a clickable map. Let's see their text here. And again, a massive amount of text. So there's a total of 1,652 people coming to this website page. And then their third is another one around ski resorts. So I'm assuming, okay, yeah, this one's just ski resorts again. Their internal linking strategy is absolutely crushing it. I mean, a lot of their pages have a ton of these links. So I think that definitely has a contribution to this website's success. The more that I look at this, the more sure I am that Google sees this as the authority for anything related to vacationing in Colorado. It kind of just looks like someone's personal project, someone who lives in Colorado and has gone on multiple vacations and wanted to make a resource for it. It goes against a lot of my approach when it comes to keyword research, finding one target keyword and then going hyper specific and dominating that space. They kind of just took the shotgun formation and it somehow worked for them for the last. So this website was established in 1980. So actually, this method has worked for them for 45 years. When was the internet invented? Okay, so the internet was born in 1983. So I guess this was established before the internet was born. So I tried to figure out how they were monetizing this website, because when I went over to hotels and clicked on a single hotel, I was looking for some kind of referral code when I click to visit website, but they don't have an affiliate play, which is honestly just a big missed opportunity. But I did find this little personal message section, and they say, we sell advertising to the businesses in our vacation directory, so please mention you found them through the Colorado vacation directory. I didn't find any advertising. I don't know if it's because it doesn't explicitly say it's sponsored or it's an advertisement, but apparently that's how they make money. It's just interesting to know that such an old website that's a couple decades old is still doing very, very well. Plus, you guys know I'm a big fan of static directory websites, and this is the epitome of a static website page, and actually all of these pages. So that's 5 points for Gryffindor right there. I mean, this is something that I'm a big fan of. In a world of programmatic directories, it's cool to see an old and ugly and static directory that is still ranking on the first page for a ton of keywords. I mean, the only thing I would change is if I owned this directory, I would definitely take advantage of all the different affiliate plays that they could be doing. Hotels and travels, glamping, these are all amazing affiliate marketing plays. Bed and breakfast. I don't see why they wouldn't want to just spend time signing up for these affiliate links, but that's totally fine, and it looks like this was a passion project, something born out of a genuine interest. For website number 2, we have bugguide.net. This is an amazing website. It is a directory for people to identify different bugs and insects in the United States and Canada. So this is their homepage right over here. You can click on a bug here and learn everything you want to know about walking sticks, their classification, as well as all this other information. And something to note is that when I scrolled down, I did see Iowa State University. So maybe this is a directory website that's an extension of that. This is kind of your different directory website because it's not location based, but there is so much enrichment in terms of the information and data that they included. And they have all these great images, but there's just a lot of information that is solid here. They also have a lot of user generated content. So they have this entire forum, and the latest post was actually today. Kind of insane. People are, I guess, actively using this. A lot of posts were made actually pretty recently. This was made just earlier this week. This was made just last week, and this one also in February 2025. So apparently this is a very useful resource for people who are interested in bug taxonomies. I get it. I don't get it, but I kind of get it. And just because I like building evergreen location-based directories, this is opening my eyes to a different type of evergreen directory, which can still be pretty successful. As we can see from the Ahrefs, this website's getting 79,000 monthly visitors. And in the 10-year chart, we do see some highs and lows. But for the most part, the last 5 years have been pretty steady. This is still in very good health. If we look at the 2-year, we do see that they dropped in traffic from the summer of 2024. It's not enough for me to say that they got absolutely crushed by some Google core update or some competitor that's up and coming. They're even coming back from a low of 62,000 monthly visitors back in December 2024, and they're kind of right back on the climb. So I am curious if there is kind of some built-in seasonality with this. Maybe it has to do with certain bugs. Okay, looking at the 5 years, I think there's definitely some seasonality. In the summer months, this website definitely starts to get a lot more traffic, and that's pretty consistent in the last 5 years. But even on their low months, this is pretty impressive. 44,000, 47,000, 44,000. Majority US traffic and Canada here, so that is awesome. Tons of backlinks. I mean, this is a very impressive amount of backlinks. If we go to show best links, I'm just curious to see. So yeah, they have some very high authority backlinks here. NBC News, NPS.gov. A government backlink is incredibly powerful and high quality. Let's take a look here at their keywords and their ranking for 88,000. We have bug guide, so I guess at this point it is branded. Watermelon spider, 7,800 monthly searches for watermelon spider. So they are ranked number 3 on the first page. I'd be willing to bet there's a massive community out there who's interested in different bugs, and it's an interesting angle because everyone thinks of dogs and cats, and those are the common pet niches, but I guess there are large communities around all sorts of different animals, and there's probably opportunity to go and build directories around certain types of animals and figure out what information people are looking for. I'm sure there's hundreds of thousands of people who are interested in orcas, maybe baby orcas. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there, but this is actually a smart way to think about getting organic traffic to a unique directory website. Bug, they're ranking number 13 for bug, which gets 51,000 monthly searches. That's kind of a flex right there. That's pretty impressive. A lot of these keywords that they're ranking for are definitely specific types of bugs. And since I've analyzed so many directory websites, I'm kind of noticing this pattern. And the pattern is that a lot of these successful directory websites take advantage of the reputation of the specifics of their niche. In this case, it's all these different breeds and species of bugs. We saw this with Board Game Geek, where they were leveraging the reputation of all the board games. But yeah, I just wanted to call that out because it's really smart how all of these websites that I'm analyzing take advantage of things like, leaf bug, right? 11,000 monthly visitors. So even though they're ranking on the 11th page, they're still getting some traffic from that. That is impressive. Let's take a look at some of their top pages. 42,000 pages. Massive directory website here. And as expected, homepage is the most traffic page. Right off the bat, I'm noticing that in their traffic column, it's very kind of consistent. A lot of their pages get a few hundred different monthly visitors. It's something to take notice of because when you see a website get this much consistent traffic to their pages, it means that they're delivering high quality content. It means that their users are engaged. I would guess that they have a high return traffic rate. And so this is a very solid sign. I'm assuming these are all different types of bugs. This is a spider. Is this the watermelon spider? That is a fascinating spider. Look at that thing. It's absolutely giving watermelon vibes. Let's not look at that anymore. So I think that this website has a lot going for it. I mean, obviously you saw the backlinks and you saw that they've been kind of very consistently getting high amounts of traffic. I mean, it has a ton of user generated content through its forums. People are constantly posting new information despite it looking pretty old. There's a ton of data enrichment for every single bug listing. They have a ton of their own images, which is amazing as well. I almost feel like this is a community of bug enthusiasts. The more we go towards AI and LEO becomes a thing, LLM SEO, I think that there's going to be an increased importance in the user-generated mentions of a website that allows you to become the website that ChatGPT references whenever someone types in, "What's a watermelon spider?" or something, right? So looking at their tech stack, it looks like they did probably custom code this. I do see the JavaScript libraries and functions here and the PHP frameworks. I don't see any kind of CMS, so as a non-coder, I'm just going to assume that this is probably something that was custom coded. I'm always curious to see if people have competitors, so I can scroll down here and take a look. We have insectidentification.org, and I guess this is another kind of similar one, and this gets a decent amount of traffic too. So this one gets 39,000 monthly visitors, pretty much very stable as well. This one's actually monetized. I can see just from looking at their ads here, and they have all of these kind of categories for different types of bugs. It just goes to show that you can be second best in your niche and still have a pretty successful directory. Now this competitor is probably using Google AdSense, and we can double check here. So they are using Google AdSense here. I wouldn't be surprised if this website was a cool, $2,000, $3,000 a month passive website. Without going too deep into this competitor, bugguide.net does have a lot more community. They have their entire forum, so I think that's actually giving them a much bigger edge, and it's going to be hard to outrank them. Very cool to see another kind of second place winner that's doing so well. Yeah, so pretty cool, but I don't think they're being monetized because their affiliation with Iowa State University, and it looks like more of an educational resource, and hopefully this opens up kind of a different way to think about evergreen niches within the directory space. So our third ugly website that is absolutely crushing it is lightpollutionmap.info. And this is the first directory where we've seen a successful TLD that's not a .com or a .net or a .org. Of course, I still think it's always better to get a .com or a .co. It's doing really well, as you will see in a moment. So first, what is this and why does it not really look like an average directory website? This is a website directory that shows the areas with the most minimal amount of light pollution. So if you're into stargazing or astrophotography, people would use this tool to go into different places where there's less light pollution so they can get a better visibility of the sky and the stars. And this is actually really useful because I've gone stargazing before, and we always have to kind of go off vibes and go on Reddit and see what places are good for stargazing. But now that I know that this exists, it's actually pretty useful to know, and I just can't believe someone built this out. So let me show you how this works because it's kind of unique. So this is actually a global map, and so you can go into different areas of the world and see where there's the most light pollution. So it's kind of sad to see how much pollution there is here from where I'm from, which is California. You can go into any area. Let's just go into Los Angeles, for example, and you can click anywhere. So let's just click in this random area, and it'll tell you the coordinates, the brightness, and I'm not really well versed enough to know what this means and what metric it is using. All I know is that it's related to light pollution. Can you LE5 what this means? So this image shows light pollution data for a location near Edwards Force Base in Southern California. The SQM stands for Sky Quality Meter, and this measures darkness. Higher numbers mean darker skies. And Bortle scale astronomers use to rate how good of a location is for stargazing. Your location rates an 8 and 9, which means it has heavy light pollution, typical of city and suburban areas. I just wanted to learn that real quick, but going back to the unconventional website directory that this is, just because it's more interactive, it doesn't mean that it is not essentially a global directory for how much light pollution there is around the world. And essentially, this is their listing information. So I clicked on this little eye icon here, and it actually popped up to this little donations page and FAQ page. And there's some interesting information here. It's actually quite long. So it also talks about their mobile app here, and I'm assuming just how to use the tool in general. And it says that in 2019, they switched the funding of the website from donations to advertisements because the donations weren't even enough to cover the server rent costs. This person probably got some negative feedback from this change. So if you donate $5 or €5, you receive a passkey and you won't see advertisements for 3 years. I don't blame him. In my opinion, if you're going to create something free that is providing value, why not display ads? Why not get a little bit of compensation for all of the time and effort you put in to create this useful tool? I mean, I don't think everything in this world should be free. So yeah, this is just a really cool tool, and I'm very impressed at this being a global tool. So going into the analytics, this is a website that gets 81,000 monthly visits. Now looking at the traffic, it is a global tool. So as expected, there's a lot of kind of fragmentation with where the audience is coming from, but a lot of it is tier 1 traffic. We have the UK, the US, and Canada. That already makes close to 60% of the traffic. We do see some steady growth from 10 years ago until today. And they did hit this very high point in 2023 where they had 145,000 monthly visitors. Now, I don't know if this is necessarily considered seasonal, but it definitely has these pretty massive peaks. They're all in different months, and I would guess that it's probably because there's probably some activity or event happening in the sky and the stars that's drawing a lot of people to come to this tool and use it. I mean, I know that when I was stargazing just a few months ago, it was because all of my friends told me about this massive meteor shower that was happening. So we drove to the mountains and did the whole thing. You know, we went to a very remote location and it was beautiful. So I can see how those influence the amount of traffic coming to this website. Let's just take a look at their organic keywords. Light pollution map, that gets a lot. World map, they're ranking for world map, which gets 1.2 million monthly searches, and they're ranking on the second page, which is actually very, very impressive. Probably one of the most competitive keywords in the entire world. Okay, makes sense that they're ranking for Bortle scale map. A lot of their highest ranked keywords, you know, they're ranked number 1 for a lot, are very, very difficult. These have high keyword difficulty all along the board. This one's even a 96 in keyword difficulty. This is the first website directory where I found that is able to rank so dominantly on the first page, rank 1 for all of these keywords that are very, very difficult. Let's look at their top pages now. They have 16 index pages. The main page is getting all the traffic. So they do have other pages that we didn't find. In this case, this is for Denmark, but they don't have many and they're not really getting any kinds of traffic. Because all the traffic's coming to this homepage, they're ranking for 60,000 keywords, which is the most amount of keywords I've ever seen in my entire life. I guess I'm just curious how it ranks for these keywords. Google crawls a website and looks for semantic HTML, but where is it and where is it embedded? Maybe I'm just missing it. I mean, light pollution map makes sense because it's in the domain, like it is the domain name. And Bortle scale map makes sense because every time you click on a location, you do see, you know, this text right here. But 60,000 keywords all related to light pollution is something that I'm having a hard time comprehending, but that is very interesting. Now I will just quickly look at how they built this, even though I know already I won't really understand what I'm looking at. So for people who are coders out there and you are familiar with these frameworks, this is their tech stack here. They are using Ezoic. They're probably doing pretty well on Ezoic. So just wanted to scroll through that very quickly because I know I'm not an expert at that. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this was bringing in like around 4,000 to 5,000 is what I think is extremely realistic. I think it can be as much as 6,000, maybe even 7. But they do have these massive months. All of May, they were on target to do 112,000 monthly visitors. And I would imagine they don't have too many competitors. They have Dark Site Finder. Let's see what this is real quick. This is a directory for stargazing in campgrounds, and I'm not going to go fully into this, but this came up as the competitor for light pollution maps. But looking at this competing site, I mean, it gets 17,000 monthly visitors. So it's actually doing pretty well on its own. But it kind of looks like they're doing something different where they're focusing mostly on different campgrounds. Pretty cool. And another reminder that you can be in the same niche and still win a substantial amount of traffic. I would like to see a website like this that gets this much traffic have some sort of community forum. I think that's another method to get a lot of traffic. Just people talking about all the different events that are happening in the stargazing world. You're already getting 81,000 people coming to your tool every single month. So why not go the extra mile and create some way for a community to organically build? I mean, you could probably post ads there too and then make a little bit extra money. As we can see, there's multiple ways to actually create a directory website that stands the test of time and continues to be valuable for a certain niche community out there in the world. Hopefully this was insightful, because for me, it definitely opened my eyes to different evergreen niches that I should be thinking about building. It also opened my eyes to just how different a directory can look and be formatted. So if you're more technical out there, it just gives you one more idea to add to the list of things that you can do. Now, I'd be very curious if any of you build something like light pollution map using Cursor or any AI coding tool. Let me know if you have any ideas to take this series even further. If you want me to go into a specific niche or a specific type of successful or profitable website directory, I'll go and try and find them. Don't forget to join the Ship Your Directory community. So thanks for watching, and I appreciate the support. It really means a lot. And I hope you guys have an awesome day. I'll catch you guys in the next video. See ya.